Hello, I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. Donald Trump's tweeting causes a diplomatic row again. I wonder if you can guess the score this gymnast got. We'll tell you what happens to this female student in Egypt after this video went viral. And it's Panda party time in Monday's Animals Doing Stuff. Well, at the top of the newsfeed, Trump's tweets again. Now, this time he's used his bully pulpit on Twitter to issue what many people are reading as a threat. He wrote, and I'll quote, "Will devastate Turkey economically if they hit Kurds." Now, that line came in a two-part tweet about US plans to withdraw from Syria. Now, the idea that a president of the United States of America would go on the internet and threaten the president and people of Turkey would have been unthinkable a couple years ago. But it's an all too real and regular occurrence in the age of Trump. Here's a Akanksha.
Donald Trump has tweeted that Turkey will be devastated economically if they hit Kurds. The tweets say,
starting the long overdue pullout from Syria while hitting the little remaining ISIS territorial caliphate hard and from many directions. Will attack again from existing nearby base if it reforms. Will devastate Turkey economically if they hit Kurds, create 20-mile safe zone. Likewise, do not want the Kurds to provoke Turkey. Russia, Iran, and Syria have been the biggest beneficiaries of the long-term U.S. policy of destroying ISIS in Syria. Natural enemies. We also benefit, but it is now time to bring our troops back home. Stop the endless wars.
The tweets come as the U.S. begins to withdraw American troops from Syria amid concerns from Washington that Turkey may attack their Syrian Kurdish allies.
The U.S. has tried to say quite directly in a number of ways that they want to have a negotiated resolution of the relationship between Turkey and the Kurdish fighters who were largely responsible for eliminating ISIS. And the Turks' apparent rejection of that desire by the Americans, and perhaps some indication to Mr. Trump that the Turks are about to launch a major military operation in northeastern Syria, may have prompted his unfortunate tweet.
In response, Turkey has made its stance clear on social media and in real life.
Strategic partners don't talk over Twitter. Our channels are open for talks.
Mr. Donald Trump, terrorists cannot be your partners and allies. Turkey expects the U.S. to honor our strategic partnership and doesn't want it to be shadowed by terrorist propaganda. There is no difference between Daesh, PKK, PYD, and YPG. We will continue to fight against them all.
Turkey doesn't intend to attack the Kurds, that their problem is with the PKK or PKK and the YPG, and they're not one and the same with the Kurdish population. Turkey doesn't have a problem with the Kurdish population. They will protect the Kurdish population. Their problem is with militant groups and terrorist groups that are actually on the United States list of terrorist groups, groups like the PKK. They're also joining the YPG in Syria.
Trump also said that Daesh will be attacked again if it reforms after the American departure. Diplomacy by tweet is the new normal, thanks to the man currently in the White House. Whether he lives up to the threats in these tweets is anyone's guess.
All right, let's take a look at some of the other things that have caught our eye on social media. Well, this is the latest teaser trailer for the final season of Game of Thrones. It dropped yesterday and has already done 5.5 million views. It shows the remaining Stark children all together in the crypt under Winterfell, and it kind of reminded me of that cave scene from Empire Strikes Back. Now, we've got a date for the new season, April the 14th. Winter is coming in like 3 months. Well, wow, this video of Katelyn Ohashi has gone mega viral for clear and obvious reasons. It's from the college gymnastics competition, over the weekend, and it is pretty incredible. Even if you're not into the sport, it's well worth watching. The video was tweeted out by the University College Los Angeles gymnastics team with the words, 10 wasn't enough for this floor routine. And the national bird of Britain has been spotted in Beijing. It's a robin, and it caused a huge scrum of birdwatchers at Beijing Zoo. Now, it's very rare for the little guy to be found in China, leading many on social media to start joking that it was a Brexit refugee. Now, this picture of an egg is the most liked photo on Instagram ever. It beat this one of Kylie Jenner and her baby. Now, this egg picture is the one and only post from an account called World Egg Record. It has 23 million likes. Kylie Jenner responded with this.
All right, guys. First, let's feel the ground. Really hot? Okay.
Now, lots of the government in the United States is still closed. The partial shutdown is now into its 24th day. It's affecting loads of government workers, including the people that keep air traffic moving. But try not to worry if you're flying into the US in the next few days. Those keeping the sky safe have been fed by their neighbours from the north. Canadian air traffic controllers sent the guys in America 300 pizzas to help them cope with not being paid, while Donald Trump holds the country to ransom over a wall he said Mexico would pay for. These air traffic controllers are classed as essential workers who have been working for the past 24 days with no pay. And the air traffic controllers are not alone. As many as 800,000 workers are either working for no pay or are what's known as furloughed. That's basically on enforced holiday. Now, all these people will be back paid when the government does eventually reopen, but that's not much comfort for some.
We're going to have to take loans. We're going to have to we're going to have to do, use credit cards. Wondering, how we're going to get by. I really don't want to be in that situation. We're a working family, we earn our paycheck, we pay our bills, take care of our kids. That's all that we want to do. He's gone to work every single day without pay, without complaint. I blame President Trump. I put it on his desk. I would want him to know that the crisis is not at the border, the crisis is in your backyard.
Now, Malaysia's king abdicated a few days ago, and since then a bizarre story of his marriage to a Russian model has emerged. So what comes next for the Malaysian monarchy? Shrishtri's been looking into it.
Is this Malaysia's Game of Thrones moment? For the first time since Malaysia's independence, the king has abdicated his throne. Sultan Muhammad V's abrupt departure comes weeks after intense speculations of his marriage to a former Russian beauty queen during a 2-month medical leave. The royal palace has not commented on the rumors of his wedding to 25-year-old Oksana Vojvodina. It has also offered no explanation on why the king stepped down just 2 years into his 5-year term. But what is the role of a king in Malaysia? A sultan's role in the country is largely ceremonial. Some of his duties include swearing in prime ministers and issuing royal pardons, like in the case of former Deputy Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, who was convicted of sodomy and corruption. But the king's role is prestigious. He is seen as the upholder of Malay and Islamic values in the Muslim-majority nation. So how is the king chosen? Malaysia has a unique system of constitutional monarchy with 9 royal Malay houses at the helm. Each one oversees a different state, and they take turns to be the monarch or the Yang Depa Tuanagong for a 5-year term. The monarch is chosen by the Conference of Rulers, consisting of the 9 sultans and 4 governors from regions with no royal families. But voting for the next king is limited to the rulers. Although the royalty is not directly involved in politics, they yield influence. Politicians often cultivate support from sultans as a way to woo voters. But some politicians have had their differences over the powers of the monarchy since decades. During his term in the 80s and 90s, then Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad pushed through constitutional amendments and withdrew the Sultan's absolute power to veto state and federal legislation. The government even curbed the Sultan's legal immunity after a series of incidents involving the royals. The scandals have also impacted the reputation of royals among the people, but support for them continues to be considerably high. So will the Malay royals continue to be significant in the years to come?
And it's around the world now for other stories you need to know this Monday. This video has led to a woman in it being expelled from university in Egypt. It apparently shows a student from Al-Azhar University and a man who seems to be proposing marriage. The two then hug and he gives her a bunch of flowers. Now the video went viral, and when it was seen by people from Al-Azhar, they said the video had generated a public outcry and a hug between an unmarried man and woman violates the values and principles of society. The university administrator, who confirmed the woman had been expelled, said she is well within her rights to appeal the uni's decision. Every year, tourists throw about $1.3 million worth of coins into the famous Trevi fountain. Now, those coins are then collected and the money is given to a charity run by the Catholic Church. But now, Rome's mayor wants to keep the money and pay for repairs around the city. And how's this for a fun fact? The tradition of throwing coins in the fountain began in 1954 because of a Frank Sinatra movie called 3 Coins in a Fountain. Now, these pictures are from the live stream of the International Space Station as SpaceX Dragon cargo, the ship, heads back to Earth. The Dragon has been with the ISS since December, delivering 3 tons of food and supplies. It splashed down in the Pacific and is now being recovered by the SpaceX recovery ship. Now, New York City is home to many fine museums, MoMA, the Guggenheim, etc., etc. And now there is another museum for you to go walkers to.
So famous, he was really sort of the father of the breed, one of the more important dogs. So he was memorialized not here in paint, but here in actuality. I think the best thing to take away is the fact that dogs were meant to have different jobs. Dogs all have their own jobs today, but they had different jobs. They've changed over the years. It's learning why they were purposely bred for certain jobs and their activities, their attributes, and how they would function in society.
And finally, what better way to start the week than with some video of a baby panda? The baby girl at Malaysia Zoo has just celebrated her first birthday. There she is climbing on the frame. Now, for her first birthday meal, she got an ice cake, of course, fruit and bamboo. Now, she's a year old, but hasn't got a name yet. I don't know why it's taking the zoo quite so long. She has got a sister though. She's called Nuan Nuan and she was born in 2015. Now, their parents were sent to Malaysia Zoo in 2014 on a 10-year loan to mark 40 years of diplomatic relations between Malaysia and China. But in recent years, Malaysia's government has come under criticism for the amount of money they're paying keeping those pandas safe. But the pandas do seem quite happy as they're having loads of babies. And that's all from the NewsFeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints, and suggestions. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on Twitter and YouTube. Follow and subscribe. See you again soon.